Welcome to English Mirror. Today, we present you a short profile of Karl Marx. Marx's influence has been a profound and persuasive one. His thought has affected the lives of millions and has impacted on many aspects of modern society, in particular on politics, history, sociology, economics, philosophy, and the arts. He was born in the German Rhineland, at Trier, in 1818 and was of Jewish origin. He became a law student at the University of Bonn when he was 17, behaved rather wildly and transferred at his father's injunction to the University of Berlin. At Berlin, he turned to philosophy and began to work seriously on a doctoral thesis after his father's death forced him to consider his financial and career prospects. The thesis was accepted in 1841 but did not lead to the university lectureship he had hoped for. He turned to journalism, did well in writing on political and social issues, and in 1842 became editor of the Rhenish Gazette. The job did not last. The Prussian government suppressed the paper, and in 1843 Marx, newly married, took his young wife Jenny with him to Paris, where he began writing for the German French annals. Again, the venture was a failure, and because of the annals' revolutionary ideas, the Prussians issued warrants for the arrest of its editors. This meant that Marx was unable to return to Prussia. He stayed in France, developing his political and philosophical ideas, and began his friendship and collaboration with Frederick Engels. In 1847, he went to London to attend the congress of a new organization, the Communist League, and was commissioned together with Engels to write a simple declaration of the League's doctrine. This declaration, the Communist Manifesto, was published in 1848. By then, Marx was in political disrepute in his home country as well as in France and Belgium. So in 1849, he settled his family in London, where he lived for the rest of his life. For a while, everything was difficult and harsh, not only because of lack of money, but because two of the Marx children died in infancy, and a third, Edgar, when he was 8 years old. Nevertheless, Marx worked intensively, writing many articles as well as a draft of his book Capital, and engaging in all kinds of political debates and controversy. By the time he was in his 50s, his ideas were becoming established. Capital was translated into Russian in 1872 and became widely read. And Marx, by then well known, enjoyed regular contact with like minded theorists all over Europe. His last years were made deeply unhappy by further deaths in his family. Several of his grandchildren died in infancy. In 1881, his wife died after a wretched and protracted illness, and this loss was followed a year later by the death of one of his daughters. Marx himself died on 14 March 1883. When Marx first began to formulate his ideas in the late 1830s, the philosophy of G.W.F. Hegel was dominant at the University of Berlin. Hegel had posited the existence of mind as a universal spirit. He had maintained that particular individual minds are part of the universal mind, but are unaware of this ultimate oneness, so that mind is estranged or alienated from itself. This self knowledge is brought about by a process of dialectic. Hegelian dialectic is a kind of dynamic and progressive opposition in which an initial notion, the thesis, is countered by a contrary one, the antithesis. The opposition culminates in a synthesis which preserves and combines what is rational in the first two positions and then forms the basis of a new thesis. And so the dialectic proceeds. The followers of Hegel, the young Hegelians, were not comfortable with the thought that mind was the ultimate reality. At the same time, they wanted to abolish what they saw as self alienation and to liberate humanity through the historical and dialectical process of self knowledge. Moreover, they saw religion as a form of alienation through which humankind had attributed all the goodness and wisdom of which it was capable to a remote God, instead of recognizing those virtues as essentially human capacities. This was the fertile breeding ground of Marxian thought. Thank you for watching this video.